Morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Stuart. Will you all please rise and join us in our opening song, My Soul is Welcome Here.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. And yes, you may be seated. Hi, everybody. How's it going? You already know how it's going with me. My soul is welcome here, though, right? And I am getting the message loud and clear. Welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you are here joining us this morning in the room and online. Welcome. Welcome to all who are watching on YouTube and Facebook, to Jess and Phil. So Jess and Phil, I say hello to you every single Sunday morning, not knowing whether you're here or not. So welcome, glad you are here. Welcome to Lana and to Pam and to Ellen and to Anne. Oh, that rhymed. So welcome, we're glad you are here. Let's see who is on Facebook. As always, Jen is bilocating. And to Barb and to Doreen, good morning from Georgia, from Doreen. She's visiting her grandson, who I think he turned, is it three? Three already. And Rose wants everybody to know, everybody who was born in August, to have a happy birthday. And I think Rose was born in August. And to Sylvie, once again, Sylvie is watching from Jacksonville, I think. Hey, Sylvie. Mike is also watching. And to everybody else who is watching, but I don't see your name, welcome. We're glad you are here. As always, we have with us our Joyful Noise Band and Choir. And today, our special music is provided by Sophia's doing double duty today. Sophia Denning-Campbell is in the booth, and she'll be up here for special music. And stay tuned, everybody, because it's a very, very beautiful and sweet song. If you are a first-timer present in a sanctuary and you haven't gotten a welcome packet when you walked in and you feel comfortable, please raise your hand so Ricky can give you a welcome packet if you would like one. Anybody say, oh, somebody already did back there. Got one from John. John or Ricky over there on the right. Anybody else today? And anybody else today who would just happen to like a welcome packet if you didn't get one when you first came, or you want to hand one to a friend, they'd also be happy to give you a welcome packet. Anybody? Or you could get one on your way out if you'd like. In that welcome packet is a variety of things. There is a form in there. If you take it and fill it out and bring it to the welcome podium, Nancy will be happy to give you a gift. And there's also a prayer intention form in there. If you fill that out and put it in our prayer box, our prayer chaplains will pray over that for 30 days. And we also send it off to the mothership at Silent Unity, which is our prayer ministry, and they will pray over it there as well. What else is in there? Oh, some information about our Unity of Stuart Church and our larger Unity of Stuart movement. today's potluck Sunday, and we have some snacks and I think a little bit of potluck back there, and some snacks in the kitchen. Please join us on the patio or or hovering around the kitchen after you get your coffee and cookie. So I'm going to fast forward to an announcement that's later on. So what's been happening is that we don't have anybody really taking care of hospitality, and I think I mentioned this last week. May has been doing it, and in the transition between May leaving us for a full-time position and bringing and doing the work necessary to bring Eva in as our administrator, our member Eva, as our administrator, I've asked May to stop doing hospitality and Eva not to pick it up because they have other things that take up their time or their part-time. So again, I'll talk more about this. But so I don't know if coffee was made today, but somebody did make coffee. Who made coffee? Linda. Okay. So our board president made coffee. She's not guaranteeing how it's going to taste. So you'll hear more about that later. So there is coffee there. What, John? Okay, so there is. So John's not volunteering. He's ushering. He's not volunteering to make coffee. So anyway, I'll talk to you more about hospitality a little bit later. All righty then. If you're online and you would like a welcome package, please email our admin at admin@unityofstuart.org and request a welcome packet. All righty then. We do have prayer chaplains, as always. Who's our prayer chaplain on duty today? Connie Cox is here, and you will know her by her stole. You can find her in the sanctuary. Her chaplains wear a lovely white stole. And if you have a prayer intention or a request, they will be honored to pray with you and hold your prayer in the highest confidence. You can also email our team at prayer@unityofstuart.org, or alternatively, or as well, call the Silent Unity Prayer Line, which is our prayer ministry back at the home office at that number right there. And speaking of prayer, usually our prayer chaplains call our membership list. If you are a voting member, you are getting a wellness call from one of our prayer chaplains every month. And Amy Neff, who is our prayer chaplain coordinator, asked me if I would ask those who are not voting members if you would like to receive a wellness call every month, which they'll ask you if you have anything that you'd like them to pray into, and then they'll pray a short prayer. And if you don't pick up the phone, they'll leave something on your voicemail. And some people really like that. They don't want to pray in person, but they like to hear the prayer on their voicemail. So that's an option as well. So please sign up at the information table or email Amy at that email address. We all have our ongoing Tuesday meditation on Facebook Live at 10 a.m. on Tuesdays with our Reiki master, Cheryl Roby. Coffee House concert coming up on August 25th, and that's great music, great company, sweet treats, and optional dancing in the aisles. You have treats at 6:30 and music at 7 p.m., and so everybody will be there, although I don't know that Chuck will be there this month.
Chuck is dropping out.
Oh, Chuck has released himself from Connected Souls for the time being. He's working on some health issues and some life issues, and so we will miss Chuck, and we also hold him in our prayers. So come and join us on August 25th for our Coffee House concert. So back to our admin. I think I talked about this last week, or maybe I didn't. Our bylaws say, so we have Eva Taylor and Hildy Laraldi. They are married. Hildy Laraldi is on our board of directors. And our outdated bylaws, the last time they were updated was 2016, say that if we hire somebody who's a partner or a household member of somebody on the board member has to come off. And so the Unity Worldwide Ministries updated bylaws have a different idea about that. And that idea is if the person on the board recuses themselves from everything to do with the person we want to hire, so Eva is Hildy's wife, so Hildy on the board could remain on the board, but will have no say in anything to do with what Hildy's doing in the admin position. So next Sunday, right after service, we're going to have a special membership meeting to ask you to incorporate that new bylaw that's recommended by our home office in exchange for the old bylaw. So we're going to ask you to do that. If you are a voting member, to come to that meeting. If you are a voting member and you would like an absentee ballot, if you are not going to be here on the 13th, you can see May in the office and she will give you an absentee ballot. You can vote on that right there, yes or no, and just hand it right back to her. So I just want to say, are there any questions about that right now? Especially if you're not going to be at the meeting. All right, so simply we're going to change the bylaw to say we can hire somebody who's a partner of somebody on the board, but that board member does not have any say in anything to do with that new hire. Right? Clear? Yeah. Okay, very good. So that's next week directly after service. So we're ramping up now into classes and workshops and things going on in the church. So announcements are going to get a little bit more crowded around our things. So I'm going to take a deep breath, and I invite you to join me as we move into our dedication. In our dedication this morning, I invite you to join me in dedicating our service and ourselves to really diving into spiritual practice. We're going to embark on our 6 weeks. This is the first week of 7 weeks where we're going to dive into essential spirituality and really committing ourselves to spiritual practice. So join me in dedicating today's service to foundational spiritual practice and dedicating to our own spiritual growth. Supported by my divine nature, I deepen my spiritual practice. Supported by my divine nature, I deepen my spiritual practice. I am responsible for being me. I accept this responsibility by embracing who I am. True, I have a physical identity, but more than that, I am a spiritual being. Spirit within is my unending source of wisdom and strength. In every moment of my life, my inner being of holiness is my foundation. Limitless opportunities are before me. Age, economy, gender do not hold me back. With a willingness to explore, I try new endeavors. I step out in faith on new pathways. I say yes to moving beyond my comfort zone to discover and express who I am at depth. I feel at ease as I deepen my spiritual practice and connect with others as I am guided and supported by my divine nature. Supported by my divine nature, I deepen my spiritual practice. And we breathe. And we allow this affirmation to move into us. As we settle into this now moment, into this service, we are open, receptive, and responsive to the gifts of Spirit right here and right now. Whatever it is in our life that we are wanting to accomplish, that we are wanting to dive into, we are open to whatever spiritual practice will help us move into that more deeply. We allow God to be God in us as we do this beautiful work together. Supported by my divine nature, I deepen my spiritual practice. And so it is. Amen. And let's affirm that together. Supported by my divine nature, I deepen my spiritual practice. And as we do, let's take another deep breath and anchor that affirmation as deeply as we are able. As we affirm one more time together. Supported by my divine nature, I deepen my spiritual practice. And let's prepare for meditation by singing Be Still.
Be still, be quiet. It's the only way. You will hear the voice of God. It's the only way. Be at peace, love one another. There is no other way. You will feel the presence of the Lord. It's the only way. It's the only way.
And we breathe. And we drop our shoulders. As we take at least 3 deep breaths, if you will. And these breaths bring us into our bodies. 3 deep conscious breaths. I invite us to become aware of any tension that we might be holding. And release that tension. You might want to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Relax your facial muscles. And dropping your attention from the head to the heart. I want to put your hand on your heart and feel that beating. Feel that beating of life, of love. And be here now, in that life, and in that love. As we remember who we are, as you remember who you are at depth, one with the one in spirit. Leaving aside anything that has happened this week or this month or this year, knowing that spirit, that God, that divine mind is bigger than this. That the power in the present moves in and through you now, enlivening every cell, every muscle, every tissue, aligning thoughts, aligning emotions. You are whole right here and right now. And I invite you to allow the words you hear to become the words of your own heart and your own mind this morning. I am immersed in the presence and power of God. I am immersed in the presence and power of pure beingness, the infinite divine, the sacred perfection that governs the function of my body, my mind, and my emotions. The sacred perfection constantly builds and recreates new tissue and automatically eliminates that which is no longer necessary, and so maintains perfect health. And as I am made in the image and likeness of the One, I express the wholeness of life. I am freed of negative beliefs. I release fear. I release resentment. I release tension and strain. I am in tune with my God self. I am one with the One. I feel vital and alive. I manifest perfection, conscious of divine perfect love, expressing wholeness and completeness right here and now. I am ever conscious of divine perfect love, expressing wholeness and completeness right here and now in the quiet. And as this beautiful music comes back to fill this holy space, I invite you to become aware of our prayer list here at Unity of Stuart and all of those on it. And open your minds and hearts to all of those prayers and all of the loved ones that are in your mind and heart this morning, and bring them into this holy space. And you may wish to speak their names or situations out loud into this space. We see each one lifted up in the power and the presence of the One, which, however they see it, whatever they call it, seeing them lifted up in light and in love. And let us release those into the care and keeping of the One. And please join me in praying this in the light and love of the indwelling Christ consciousness. And so it is. Amen. And let's know this truth in song.
We are one in the Spirit. We are one in
Hi, Zeke. Yaya loves you. Hi, May. Yaya loves you. Hi, Taryn. Mommy loves you. You can say hi to them too when you're up there. All right. Thank you for indulging me.
Hello. Oh, okay. Hi, Zeke. Hi, May. Hi, Taryn. Miss you. Love you. Okay. I am light. 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 I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that caused me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. 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 I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all right. All right. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am divinity divine. I am the God on the inside. I am the star of it all. I am light. I am light. I am light.
Okay, everybody.
I am light. 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 I am light.
Okay, last time.
I am light. I am light.
I made it without crying.
No, she didn't. She's crying right now.
A little bit, just a little bit. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you, band. Thank you, Joyful Noise. Do you feel like you're light? And it feels, did y'all sing? Yes. Yeah. How does it feel to to sing that? It is enlivening and enlightening to realize that, isn't it? Isn't it like enlightening to think that our whole lives we have been inculcated by a culture and sometimes by a religion that we're less than, that we have to claw ourselves out of a hole in order to be equal to something that is blessed, in order to be worthy of, to walk on this planet in this body, whatever our bodies look like, that we have to do something in order to be accepted, in order to be loved, in order to be blessed, when deep down we are light. When on right here and right now, we are each light. We have always been light, and we will always be light. And so what is ours to do as people on this spiritual path is to get rid of, to release those veils, if you will, that cover our light, that stop us from being who we truly are, to release them once and for all. 2 weeks ago, I shared a teaching on spiritual well-being in which I spoke about the 5 basic unity principles and the core values of unity of Stuart. And I shared how to put those values into spiritual practice, in a personal way. We have those core values for our church, and there's actually a handout on the information table about how we put them into practice in our church, and also suggestions about how to put those core values into practice in our personal lives. And last week I spoke about how we are each originally blessed, and we have been fed a falsity through maybe our growing up tradition and also through our culture about how we are originally cursed, right? Original sin. So we talked about being originally blessed, and I spoke about how we are called to act like it, to remember who we truly are, right? And to act like we are, like we know we're the light. Like we know we are divinity defined. We are the God on the inside, as Sophie just sang. And those teachings were grounded in unity principle, and rightfully so. What I didn't share a couple of weeks ago was our vision. Our vision is centered in spirit. We celebrate a world of love, peace, and joy. And guess what? We cannot celebrate a world of love, peace, and joy until we are filled with love, peace, and joy. The only way we can begin to celebrate and begin to see, to begin to have that vision of a world of love, peace, and joy is if we get that, within the world of love, peace, and joy. So, we're embarking on a series today based on a book called Essential Spirituality. Now's the time to put that slide up for those online, Sophie. The book is called Essential Spirituality. It is a book by Roger Walsh, and it offers practical exercises from various world religions, he says, to nurture kindness, love, joy, peace, vision, wisdom, and generosity. And it has 7 practices. So that's the book, if you want to get it, Essential Spirituality. We won't have it here. We don't buy books anymore, so we just invite you to get it wherever you like to buy books. So, nope, I guess I'll leave that up for the remainder of the lesson. So from the book, he says, life is not always easy, but it can be ecstatic. How to manage the difficulties and taste the ecstasy is a central challenge of life and a goal of any spiritual practice. So I just want to interrupt myself for a moment and say this. Whenever I see a spiritual guru or teacher telling me that my life can be ecstatic, right off the bat I go, ecstatic almost has no meaning for me. When I think about being ecstatic, I think about the Sufis. Is it the Sufis? What do you call that dancing? Whirling dervishes. I think about the whirling dervish and that ecstasy, right? So I have never up until this point been able to get close to that ecstasy, what that means. Not even in the most intimate times of my life, if you know what I mean. How about anybody? So anyway, I digress. Anyway, but I'm open to it. I'm open to ecstasy. So I'll be traveling. Let's travel along together and just kind of keep an open mind and an open heart about what this can mean for us. Okay. So he goes on. The difficulties are many. Even the most fortunate of us suffer times of sorrow and sickness, disappointment and despair. All of us know fear and frustration, sadness and depression. Sooner or later, we all watch loved ones die, and we eventually die ourselves. This is hardly a new discovery. Yet, life can be exciting and joyful. There are countless wonders to explore and people to meet, and the world holds places of breathless beauty. We all have opportunities to love and play, to learn and heal. Our lives are rich with opportunities, and our challenge is to live them to the full. All of us can be the creative artists of our lives. Right? It's safe to say that we all want vibrant and fulfilling lives. Yes? We all want vibrant and fulfilling lives. And in that desire, the question becomes, are we willing to do what is necessary to have that vibrant and fulfilling life? Bear with me a minute. Something's not right. Are we willing to embrace joy and excitement? Are we willing to fully embrace love, play, learning, and healing? Are we willing to go there? Are we willing to deepen our spiritual practice in order to attain what we say we want, a vibrant and joy-filled life? Do I get any yeses? Yes. Carl Jung says, it is high time we realize that it is pointless to praise the light and preach it if nobody can see it. It is much more needful to teach people the art of seeing. And that's what we're about in these several weeks. You've heard me say this before. I will say it again. In unity, we recognize that God isn't a supreme being sitting up in heaven, looking down on us and judging us, deciding who is worthy and who isn't. Rather, we teach that God is part of us, that we are divinity defined, that we are the hands and feet of God, that God is part of us, our soul, our spirit. Whatever name we want to assign to it, it's part of us, and we are part of it. Which is why in our New Thought circles, we hear many people say that we are spiritual but not religious. Yes? Because religiosity is maybe almost like a dirty word. Right? I'm not religious. Now, I have a different take on that, but that's a whole different lesson. Walsh says the word religion has many meanings. In particular, it implies a concern with the sacred and supreme values of life. The term spirituality, on the other hand, refers to direct experience of the sacred. Spiritual practices are those that help us experience the sacred, that which is most central and essential to our lives, ourselves. So the book addresses how we can create that direct experience through practice, through what he calls the 7 perennial practices. He says they're common to all authentic religion. And he comes up with 7 practical exercises. Or I don't know if there's 7, but there's 7, 7 perennial practices. So he tells us that the book is more concerned with learning and living than believing, right? So all that's necessary is an open mind and a willingness to do what's necessary. and a willingness to dive in, right, with an open mind, and a willingness to experiment, to see what happens when you take on these practices. So these spiritual practices, what they take is courage, effort, and commitment. All right, and that's in my spiritual practice. Commitment is where historically where I fall off. I get like, I've done a workshop, right? Like in my 30s and 40s and maybe in my 50s, I've been like, oh, I come out of a workshop and I'm like, oh, that's going to change my life. I'm just going to put that into practice and I'm going to become the best human being I've ever been and I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing. And then a week goes by and I'm like, Am I the only one? No, right? So that's what this takes. It was only when I made that a switch flipped in my head, and I was able to be consistent in practice that my life really changed. So, courage, effort, and commitment. And the more we practice, he says, the more the essential spiritual qualities grow in us and change us. The more they grow in us and change us. And we need to be patient. We need to be patient and we need to be constant, because becoming transformed, rising above, is gradual. It's gradual. I always say the caveat, I'm a stand for miracles, and we can get struck by spiritual lightning and all of a sudden we're like Jesus. But I've never seen it happen to anybody. It hasn't happened to me. Mine has been one step in front of the other, being constant in my practice and being consistent in my practice. So it's a gradual process. And he says in the book it's crucial to do the exercises, not just read about them. And the exercises will transform us to the extent that they are done and applied in daily life. So, the benefits of spiritual practice. Do you know that we are all under a trance? We're all walking around in a trance. So what is that trance? It's being asleep. It's being asleep to who we truly are. It's being asleep to the wholeness that we are. The wholeness of our aliveness, the wholeness of our intelligence, the wholeness of our love, our compassion, the wholeness of who we truly are. We're asleep to our light, right? We're asleep to our true self, right? That's the trance we're under. And so we are called to know our true self. That's the benefit of we wake up from that trance and we begin to know our true self. And then another benefit is we begin to have a more authentic relationship with the divine, a more authentic relationship with the sacred self. And then as we commit to being more disciplined and more obedient to spiritual practices, our hearts begin to open. Fear and anger begin to melt away. Greed and jealousy begin to dwindle. Happiness and joy grow. Love blossoms. Peace replaces agitation. Wisdom matures and our health improves. So, numerous benefits. You all know this. I kind of know I'm preaching to the choir here, but I also know, because I know myself, that a lot of times we don't practice. We say we want these things, but we kind of forget. We kind of wake up a little bit, and then the trance comes back, and we forget again. Yeah? Yeah. Spiritual practice helps us see the great truths about ourselves, that we are divinity defined, that we're eternally linked to the sacred, and that we are forever embraced by the sacred. This is the discovery, the greatest discovery of all time, Roger Walsh says. It's like the pearl of great price. This is from Matthew. You know the story probably. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchant man seeking goodly pearls, who, when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all he had and bought it. So the pearl of great price is the kingdom of heaven. And so what is the kingdom of heaven? In Christianity, Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. Kingdom of heaven is nothing outside of ourselves. It is right here. It is that relationship with the divine that is right here, that Christ consciousness that we call it in unity, that consciousness that is right here. In Islam, Muhammad said, those who know themselves know their Lord. Confucianism, those who know completely their own nature know heaven. In the Chinese Book of Changes, in the depths of the soul, one sees the divine, the one. In Hinduism, Atman, the individual consciousness, and Brahman, universal consciousness, are one. And in Buddhism, look within, you are the Buddha. So although the words may change, the theme is the same and are an example of what he calls the perennial philosophy. So he writes this, scholars call the essential common core of religious wisdom the perennial wisdom or philosophy. Why perennial? Because these profound insights into life have endured across centuries and cultures and have been taught by the great sages of all times. So there are 4 actual observations. There are 2 realms of reality. Humans partake of both realms. Human beings can recognize their divine spark and the sacred ground that is its source. And realizing, I think I had the slide for this. Yep, there are 2 realms of reality. Human beings partake of both realms. I don't know how easy that is to see, but I'm reading it out loud, so there you go. Human beings can recognize their divine spark and the sacred ground that is its source. And realizing our spiritual nature is the summum bonum, which means the highest goal and greatest good of human existence. So let's look at those a little bit more closely. There are 2 realms of reality, the physical and the spiritual. Of course, the physical is the physical objects, right? Living creatures. We operate using our 5 senses. And the spiritual, the realm of consciousness, our mind, our spirit, and they can't be accessed through the 5 senses. So our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, says that our consciousness is pivotal, right? So it's in our physicalness, it's in our body, and then we can pivot to the higher consciousness. And that's what this is referring to, right? This 2 realms of reality. There's the physical and the spiritual. And what it takes to move from the physical to the spiritual is training our consciousness to not be stuck in the physical, right? We can't access that higher consciousness through the physical. So the spiritual is not limited to time or space or physical law. It's timeless and eternal. So we partake of both realms. We call it the divine spark here, right? And we are called to fan that spark into a flame. And as I said, Hinduism calls it the Atman, and Buddhism calls it Buddha nature. We are never separate from God. We only feel like it because we've moved. Spirit never moves. It's always there, anchored, present within us. So we don't have to accept these philosophies on blind faith. Again, we accept them with understanding faith, which is another thing our co-founder Charles Fillmore say. There's blind faith, like we were taught in our growing up, some of us in our growing up traditions. You believe it because I said so. Right? That's the dogma. You believe this because if you don't believe this, you're not part of this tradition. Right? What unity teaches is understanding faith. When we understand this, we can enter into it with not just our intellect, but with our heart and mind. Right? Understanding faith. We can test them based on our own direct experience. When our mind is still and clear, we can have a direct experience. When we sit in the silence, when we sit in meditation, when we hear that Om, when we affirm, I am light, we can have a direct experience of who we truly are. That's understanding. That's understanding faith. So realizing our spiritual nature is the highest goal and the greatest good of human existence. Because guess what? When we realize it for ourselves, we radiate it out wherever we go. And we become a calming, joyful presence to those around us, those who are closest to us. And then they get a little bit of it, and it goes out and out and out like ripples when you drop a stone in a pond. So Walsh writes, he began to see the connection of certain practices to all religions. Now, he heard from Ram Dass, spiritual teacher and guru. All spiritual traditions emphasize three qualities of mind and certain practices for developing them. Practices of developing ethics, concentration, and wisdom. Ethics. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to have to go back because, there we go. Ethics. If we live unethically and deliberately hurt others, we also hurt ourselves because our minds become ridden with guilt and fear. If we live unethically and deliberately hurt others, we also hurt ourselves because our minds become ridden with guilt and fear. Concentration. This is necessary in order to calm our restless minds and to disentangle them from the countless worries and obsessions that typically preoccupy us. And then wisdom must be developed if we are to understand life and ourselves and to live well. I'll tell you what, I'm in my mid-60s now. And you know what they say about as we get older, we get wiser? It's true, isn't it? It's really, really true. Is anybody here over the age of 60 who doesn't feel like they've gotten any wiser? I dare you to raise your hand. I really see it. I really see it. And maybe it's a result of, deepened spiritual practice over the last few decades. And I really see it. Not only do I see it in myself, but I see it in other elders about how wisdom expands in our lives. So over the age of whatever it is, maybe it's the age of 50, but for me, it really hit when I was 60, to think that, wow, it does kind of ramp up at this age, to really recognize what's important and what's not, and where to plant my flag. Yeah, thank you for some thumbs up out there. So we have to continue to, for those of you who are under 60 or whatever, who maybe don't feel like you have a whole lot of wisdom, it's important to develop your wisdom if you're to understand life and yourself and to live well. So Walsh also recognized other essential common practices. So that's what the rest of the series will be about, to look at those other practices. And we start where we are. So none of this is about judgment or saying, oh, I'm really lacking in this or I'm lacking in that. Nothing about this series is about beating ourselves up. So all we're required to do is to try these practices and to come to church, because a group of like-minded people, and he says this in the book, is necessary for people to dedicate it to spiritual growth. And I'm going to take back what I said about it's another talk about the difference between religion and spirituality. This is what I think about that. I say that I am religious and spiritual, and this is why. Because I have my own relationship with spirit, and I'm religious because I come to church. Because church is a religious experience for me, because I think it's necessary to come, because I could just stay in my house and meditate, and I could stay in my house and read, and that's all well and good. But where I get even more practice is by being in a community of people, right? By being in a community of people that love me, people that challenge me, people that I come up against, that maybe I get activated by, or who get activated by me, right? And so it's important for me so people will say, oh, I don't come to church because I'm not religious. I'm both. Because being a like-minded spiritual community is valuable for all of us, right? It's valuable for all of us. So that's my other digression. Walsh writes, it is possible to make progress alone, but the support of a group and the guidance of a teacher are invaluable. So Here are the 7 central practices from the book: transforming our motivation, cultivating emotional wisdom, living ethically, concentrating and calming our mind, awakening our spiritual vision, cultivating our spiritual intelligence, and expressing spirit in action. So for the next few weeks, we'll be exploring through discussion and practices each of these 7 central practices. So, however many holy words you read, however many you speak, what good will they do you if you don't act upon them? So we're going to enjoy ourselves as we do. I'm going to enjoy myself, and I invite you along. Let's get our joy on in this next several weeks as we amp up our spiritual practice and fully embrace love, learning, playing, and healing together. I hope you join in. Namaste. And as we're getting ready for our love offering, I want to say hi. My other daughter from New Jersey is watching. Hey, Alexandra, I love you. Hope you're still on. And let's say, who else came on? Yvonne. Hey, Yvonne. Carol. Eva. Hello, hello, everybody. All right. Here are the ways that, okay, there's all the practices. Here are the ways that, for those of you who are online, I'm having a time today. Here are the ways that you can donate to Unity of Stuart. All those ways up there, and for those of you online, those ways are underneath this video. We thank everybody online and in the room for your gifts, your tithes, your love offerings. And all of our consistent givers, thank you, thank you. I hope you all feel the impact that you have as you give of your time, your talent, and your treasure to Unity of Stuart. Let us affirm our prosperity prayer and then our love offering blessing together. In a universe overflowing with the allness of God, all of the needs of Unity of Stuart and those we serve are instantly, constantly, and bountifully met. From every direction, known and unknown, expected and unexpected, our abundant good comes to us now. We are grateful. Amen. And our love offering blessing together. Let's sing about it.
I thank the universe for each new day, whether it's sunny or it's cold.
We are having our annual bed race meeting, our first meeting on August 6th. The annual bed races are 10:14. I'm going to show you the video in a moment. Jerry, I forgot to tell you, we were showing a video today. Get on that, will you? We had a great time last year. We built the bed in my driveway, and we had some ringers pushing the bed, and we won some prizes. And that is on the 14th, and we have a meeting in the sanctuary right after church. And you can sign up and also join us for our meeting. Here is the video. Maybe? Could be. Here we go. Here we go. Why don't you press return on that video, or maybe something.
Look at this thing. Now that is taking a theme and running with it. These guys have a steering wheel. The race is on. The race is on. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Keep it rolling. This is a very race.
We had 4 teenage boys pushing that bed.
So many trophies today. We are so happy. They're a sponsor. They raise money and they raise the bed. Check out that crowd. Everybody's Valentino's trophy. Here we go. Woo-hoo. Way to go, Unity.
Oh, one of those boys was Anastasia. Sorry, Anastasia.
Fantastic.
All right. So come and join in the fun. You don't have to push the bed, I promise. And all right, so that's the bed races. So here's the hospitality opportunity. So there's a sign-up sheet out there with spaces for 2 people for each Sunday. So if you'd like to volunteer for just one Sunday to make coffee, to put out cookies, and to clean up, please sign up at the information table so that we can have coffee every Sunday and staff can do what they are paid to do rather than do fellowship. Thank you in advance for signing up for that. I'm doing a prayer workshop, whoop, whoop, on September 3rd. Come and join me for that. It's a 2-hour workshop, $15 suggested love offering. Nobody is turned away. Give what you can or not. And so sign up at the information table, please, and we'll gather together on September 3rd. And let us welcome our kiddos in. Shall we? Please stand. You may be seated for a moment. Hunter, would you move over here? And move over here. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Dahlia, keep moving. All right, what do you got in your hand there? Anybody want to share? Lucky, want to share? No? Okay, okay, thank you.
Yes, so I'm Daisy. I'm still filling in for Miss Jen. My 2 kiddos are Dahlia and Sky, and I've been in the classroom for the last, I said year, but I guess it's been a year and a half.
Wow, time flies.
Yeah, and yeah, we've enjoyed coming. So let's see. Today, and I had Sonia Holbrook help out today. She also has kids in the program too. Hunter over there.
Yay, Hunter.
So today we had a lesson on I like me, or I like who I am, and we read a book about that. And then we also did an activity where we wrote positive words, or we colored or made a nice picture on these kind of targets, and we had a fun time with straws and Q-tips, trying to aim at who we are or who we'd like to be. But the kids had fun. We talked about our summers and getting back to school this week. So, yeah.
So tell me about the straws and the Q-tips. What were you aiming at?
Oh, we were aiming at these. So let's
okay.
see. Sky, can I show? Oh, this is a good one.
Okay.
I mean, they're all good, right? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
It says, I am silly, amazing, kind. And Lydia
wonderful.
did this one.
All right, wonderful.
And so then Yes.
Wonderful. Wouldn't you? Does everybody want one of those to take home so you can fill it out? Yeah. All right. Thanks, Daisy. Thanks,
It
kiddos.
was fun.
All right. Please stand. Oh no! It's birthday Sunday. Okay. So hold on, everybody. Wait. Hold on. So we have a new birthday song. Hold on to your seats. All right. So wait. So Rose's birthday was last week. Sandy's birthday is tomorrow. Ray's birthday is the 18th. Nova. We have lots of people. Diane, who I know. Anthony, David's in the house, and Bonnie and Dixie, who I don't even know. Bonnie or Dixie in the house? Sally, your birthday? Okay, Sally's birthday. Everybody who has a birthday in August, please stand. All right.
Stand for our new song.
Hold on to your hats, everybody.
It's your birthday. I'm glad it's your birthday. They say it's your birthday. We're gonna have a good time. I'm glad it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
And from that to this, let's bless our kiddos. Please stand.